Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I hope everybody's good. You are tuned in to the Urban Conservative. My name is Chaz Neal. Um, Here at the Urban Conservative, we are all about transparency, accountability. Uh, and I don't have my script in front of me. Sorry about that. I saw a message just popped up too, so it kind of just. So I really want to uh, just jump into this just because of the simple fact this is a situation that happened today in Minneapolis. Um, and there is video. The crazy part is, and I don't want people to, there's no audio, so we're just going to play this and discuss it since there is no point of muting but I'm going to put the whole. So here's the start of it. Um, there was at 2:15 this morning, there was an officer call for help on I-94 and uh, near Dowling, and that's what you're seeing is the stop. And as you see as it goes on, I don't know. Let me see. I don't know where it's at in the video. So they're chasing. I don't know. I'm not good, very commentary. But the crazy part of all of this is where I'm going to get into. Um, but I want to. So right here, 219, State Patrol out with vehicle, shots fired, help call, I-94 Dowling. And you see right there, that's the end of. We'll see that in the video as well. Um, One party has 3 gunshot wounds. CPR started. Now, this is a part that I want people to remember, that one party has 3 gunshot wounds. CPR was started. Now, we're going to do a little, basically a timeline of this. Um, so, call goes out, 219, shots fired. Officers, State Patrol, and you see it's not just State Patrol, because as you see, MPD officers also. I don't think they are the ones. No, they weren't the ones that shot. Um, and here's the kicker, because this just came out too, that the State Patrol officers that responded to the call did not have their body cams activated. So this potentially, beyond the dash cams, there's no body, there potentially might not be any body cam footage. To me, that is a problem. And definitely something that needs to be discussed. Um, but as you can see, still in the situation. So for them to say that this was a crash, to me, it looks more of a pit maneuver type stop than anything. Not so much that he caused the crash, and if he did cause a crash, as you can see, one of the State Patrol officers running off. So it makes me wonder too, was he the only party in the car? Because they state one party, 3 gunshot wounds. But I can't see other individuals or anybody. I'll go MPD right there. And it might actually be Hennepin County. I wish they would have played at least the scanner in the background. Crime Watch. So something you can learn, at least do something next time. Y'all usually do that. So that was on 33rd in Chicago. There's still a hostage situation, standoff going in South Minneapolis too, which is beyond crazy. But yeah, so quite the night last night. But it's for me, I want people to realize too, because I'm going to break this down and people are going to be like, man, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're going to say, well, this is just my theory. You know, we had that in 2020, there was that national push. See, I'm going to say this, right? And before I even get into my theory, because honestly, it's not a theory because I can lay it out and people just, you believe what you want to believe, but I'll still call it a theory, is, you know, BLM isn't, we're still here, you know, it's still chanted, it's still a force, but I feel like it needed a spark. If you get what I'm saying, I felt like something was missing to get, let's say, people back involved in um, the police brutality uh, movement, right? To get it back in the public. You know, money's not the same, people aren't the same, and I think there's so many other things going on. But see, in Minneapolis in 2020, we were the epicenter of it, and I see 2023. You know, it's no coincidence to me that, you know, you have groups in Minneapolis over the weekend um, making calls of defunding the police, right? And then you see this happening Monday, today, July 30th, um, 31st, my bad. Today's the 31st. Um, and you see, you know, stuff like this happening, but then there's so much other things that you don't see, right? Because then you got to start putting, damn, that's a big, look at that presence. God damn. But you sit there and you start putting the pieces to the puzzle together. You see that it's a city council election coming up, which the hotbed agenda item, I would think, for anybody running for city council would be Minneapolis police. This has nothing to do with Minneapolis police, what happened, this incident. Um, but they will definitely be thrown in it because I've already seen posts made talking about MPD this, MPD that. It's not MPD, it was State Patrol. And we need to correct that fact when we're speaking about what happened to Ricky Cobb, that it was Minneapolis State Patrol and not Minneapolis police that did the shooting that killed Mr. Cobb. Um, because I want people to know that so that there isn't any misinformation going out. And that's why I'm not trying to, but I'm putting the information out there as fluid as it comes. And that's why it took me a while to go live, because I wanted to get more of a picture of what was going on. And I kind of feel like when you put the pieces to the puzzle together, with the political atmosphere that we're in, and the fight that we're trying to get with police change, with police accountability, police reform. Uh, you know, I felt like there had to be something else to stir the pot in Minneapolis to get people back involved. And wasn't nothing better than this. A situation where a state trooper does not have his body cam footage on. There's no, doesn't have his body cam on. There's no footage beyond maybe this and some dash cam. You don't have an actual, you know, if it's true, if sources are true, and that is correct, that there is no body cam footage. Yeah, that gives something to a whole nother effect of, you know, BLM, DFL, a narrative to come out here and to attack police again. Not even not saying that they shouldn't be attacked, because it's a marathon. This is something we should be doing 24 hours a day until we get change. We should be spotlighting these things, because we shouldn't be out here saying any more names, because now we'll be saying Ricky Cobb. Another name added of where we could have stopped this tragedy from happening. And instead, people are going to get paid off of this. This is going to be a push that could potentially bring millions of dollars again, just like 2020. And for what? It's an election year. You guys got to remember that it's an election year. And next year, what's next year? It's a presidential. This shit just don't be happening just to be happening. It happens for reasons. It happens for reasons. And we have to really start facing that fact of that our lives are worth dollar bills. That's all we're worth. That's all our lives are worth, is money. When it gets taken by the police, because I don't see, Minneapolis just had a murder yesterday that wasn't by the hands of the police, but I don't see people posting about that. I don't see people out here talking about shutting down after hour spots. I don't see a call for that. I don't see the media trying to get people in front of them to talk about that. But what I do see is the media trying to do right now is to get people behind a push for blaming this on the popos, and which they do need to, but we need to do it the correct way, because doing it the way that I see people are doing it right now, we're not going to get anywhere. Let's figure out what happened last night. Let's get all the answers. Let's get all the facts. It's not just run out here with a narrative, because if that trooper did not have his body cam on, he was breaking policy, number one. Because in Minnesota last year, that there was enough funding, they put that there. So that shouldn't be a, first of all, reason why body cams weren't used, because there's a policy and every state trooper has body cam. So number one, right? Number two, why did the officer shoot? Why was your life threatening? Why did you feel that your life was being threatened? Because if I'm telling you right now, they're gonna come up with ways to justify this shit. And everything that I've seen on that video, there's no reason to justify it. I didn't see no justification. A person shooting or a person driving off is not a reason to shoot. None of them officers were in front. There was no reason to shoot. Their life was not in danger. So I don't want to hear that, oh, well, he drove off. No, there was no officer in front. So there's no reason to justify that. That's not justifiable right there to me. Everything that I've seen in video so far that has been put out, right? And the longest one is that one right there, is that 11-minute one from the incident. There is no reason for police to shoot. They're shooting on a busy highway. You've seen the cars that were out there. It wasn't just state troopers and Mr. Cobb's car. There was other cars out there. So why did the police feel, what put them, that they felt like they were at risk to use of force? That's what I want to know. And I want to know, this makes me wonder too, because I know in Minneapolis, they have to get permission to use of force. Did this trooper ask for permission to use of force, especially when it came to deadly? Because if you're shooting, that's deadly. You're not using non-lethal. That's not a taser. That's not rubber bullets. That's not pepper spray. That's not bear spray. You're actually, in the way that they shoot, they're trained to kill. So why did you shoot? I don't understand. We might not ever get no answers like that because the law protects them. Doesn't protect us, protects them. Qualified immunity. They have statutes for them. That's crazy because I was just looking at that earlier. 69. So Minnesota statute 6. And I want to actually, you know what? I want to say this. I need to thank the person that honestly made me go, not made me, but informed me to go look this up this morning. So I really would like to thank Lisa Simpson, the mother of Richard Risher. And we need justice and accountability for Richard too as well. But it was justifiable taking of life, which is Minnesota statute. So I'm gonna put it in here. So Minnesota statute. '69 or 609.605 justifiable taking of life. Now I want people to go look this up. I want people to go look what that statue up, right? Look that statue up and read it because there's so many things that protect police, law enforcement, but what protects us? You know what I'm saying? What protects us for self-defense, defending our lives? Because there's a situation right now in St. Paul, Minnesota, where a man, and you know what, actually, let me get his name so that I'm not out here just speaking on, but actually, let me get the, because I found it on Don Allen's, actually, shared about it, the story. So as soon as I find it, I will share it. You gonna say anything, Jantel?
I mean, I'm just here snooping in the background. Don't mind me. I'm snooping, just snooping. Yeah.
No, because it's like it's to me it's I know people are like I just need to make this make sense because I know that right now, you know, it's Black Lives Matter. The police brutality movement is kind of stagnant. You know, there's not a lot of there's so much going on, but nothing has caught the attention and like George Floyd did. You know what I'm saying? So I feel not like but just with everything going on, you know, we got an election coming up in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, with our city council, you know, the DOJ, the consent decree, the Minnesota Department of Human Rights agreement, you know, so there's so many things going on with our police department. And everybody feels like this could be where that change is. And not only that, it's CPAC is going to be on the ballot. So I just feel like when you start putting all these pieces to a puzzle together, the shit just starts fitting in. And I feel like even looking at financials of people that are running for city council is looking kind of drab than the last couple years. So I just feel like this shit just ain't making sense to me. And I feel like they're using, again, just like with other cases in history, they needed a body.
That's gonna be every single season, and I can't understand why people can't understand this. Like within the past 20 years, you can't see the cycles yet.
Right. Even with George Floyd, though, that was, you know, the presidential election. You know what I'm saying? They needed something to to instill fear into people, even though I don't. Well, and it worked,
Right.
because how many in the last? I don't think it was the last 50 years that there was only. I think Trump was the only president that didn't get reelected in the last I think 50, 70 fucking something years. And it's like that shit doesn't happen very often. It does not happen very often where a president is not reelected that runs. So they used all that fear mongering. January 6th didn't help his ass either, but the election was already over at that point.
So what are you saying? You think that he's going to get reelected?
I believe that without the fear mongering, I think without the defund the police movement, I don't think I don't think Trump loses. And without COVID, I don't think he loses.
Hold on, say that again.
So this is what I'm saying, right? If George Floyd never happens, the push for defund the police, because we already had Breonna Taylor happen. That didn't get calls for defund the police, not the way like George Floyd did. Right? And then we had COVID. You put that in there, you include that in there, the way that the response was going, even though he probably did have the Republicans had the right idea for it. Because as we see, we're 3 years in it and ain't shit changed with COVID. Just like ain't shit changed with our police departments. So why not? But look at all the money that it gathered. Look at all the money. So without those things
But
happening,
what does his presidency have to do with that?
so if you literally, how are you not? Am I not explaining something not right? Because I'm literally trying to lay it out there. Of those three things that I just named off are, to me, not even Trump, because Trump was saying the same shit in 2016. So there was, to me, no difference in 2020. So I see it the way that he lost. I'm not going to call it a rigged election. I'm not going to call it none of that. What I'm going to call it is that they fear mongered, and the moves that happened in 2020 scared people enough that they felt like if it still was in Republicans' hands, it would only get worse. And it got worse anyways, because nobody was going to stop it. It didn't matter who the president was. Or you think that's
all I know is I'm voting for Selena Charles because she's the most closest aligned with anyone. So yeah, it doesn't matter if she wins or not. Just the fact that I'm voting for her, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that his ass don't get another. Though.
Right. No, I feel you. I just feel like it's, and then you see I see it. Yeah, I wish just other people would, because it's crazy. It's crazy how people, that you can put the pieces to the puzzle together and people still can't see it. But but that's what I have for about what happened this morning. Let's see if anything else has transpired. Nope, I still don't see nothing new. I don't think BCA has made any statements.
So I might have some stuff. I might have some stuff later on.
Trooper needs help. Back up and MPD arrived. The driver was not detained. See, that's crazy. Fighting with one on the shoulder. Backup and MPD arrived with the driver detained at 9 a.m. No, that's not the way it went. I didn't see nobody. This happened at 2:30. Yep. Wow. Right. Crazy. Man, he died this morning. Pee Wee Herman. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to show people because there was a sting over the weekend, and there was a ton of people that were arrested and wanted to. How's the Amber Alert? Oh, I gotta go to my replies. Or maybe I didn't share it at all. Maybe I didn't share it at all. And it's a bad episode. Oh, here it goes right here. So I gotta share the screen. So there was a shooting yesterday. It was not a shooting, it was a murder yesterday in Minneapolis. Where a young man, one male died, one male was injured after a shooting. At approximately 4:23 a.m., officers from the 4th Precinct responded to the 2500 block of North 2nd Street on a shot spotter activation and reports of someone who had been shot. Officers located a male believed to be in his 20s with life-threatening gunshot wounds lying in the middle of North 2nd Street. Officers provided immediate medical care until relieved by EMS. The injured male was transported to Hennepin Health by ambulance. Despite all life-saving efforts, the injured male died at the hospital. Preliminary information indicates that a verbal altercation outside of the after-hours party at an unlicensed nightclub escalated to gunfire, resulting in the deceased male being shot. There were more than 100 people in the area at the time of the shooting. During the confusion, after the shots were fired, an adult male in his 40s was struck by a vehicle. That male suffered apparent non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to the hospital. The striking vehicle left the scene. Officers secured the scene and canvassed the area. Forensic scientists from the Minneapolis Police Forensic Division responded to process the scene and collect evidence. Minneapolis homicide investigators responded. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner released the name of the deceased along with the cause and nature of his death. No arrests have been made at this time. Wow. So you hear all about the police involved shooting, but nobody really wanted to bring, because everybody and their mama been out today about this shit.
Of course.
I mean, and I don't expect nothing really different, man. I know that, police brutality, because you can show
Oh, I know.
racism, you can show the fucked up ass way our system is. But the same way we point out police brutality, we can do it with community violence as well. And it's like, but because nobody wants to put money into solving these issues, I feel like that's why nobody really, it's not a money, it's not things that people just throw money. It's not a really humanitarian issue of, but when you see paid employees killing other people, oh yeah, we got to change that. Are you, so I don't know. That's just the way I see it. But so that's what I got. Let's get on the National Gun Violence Archive real quick. Yeah, I wasn't really good setup for this episode today. I'm all over the place.
Seems fine to me.
All right. Now,
Shit. That's how we do.
Last 72 hours.
Shit, who you telling, man? Me too. Me too. Well, how about that? Try that in the hood track that's out
Right?
on both our platforms. By the way, how about
Yeah.
that? Love it. Absolutely love it.
So we have just today alone, Rhode Island. You don't see them on there very often. Troy, New York, LA, California, Los Angeles, Chicago, Illinois, Cleveland, Ohio, Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Illinois, Springfield, Ohio. Hmm. Let's see. How many mass shootings do we have over the weekend? So that would have been the 28th. Wait, 28, 29, yeah, 30. So Chicago, Illinois, Seattle, Washington, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Florida, Los Angeles, California, Muncie, Indiana, Lansing, Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, Port Arthur, Texas. How many people? Damn, look at holy shit. Oh yeah, I do remember this one. I remember I wanted to talk about this one yesterday because it popped up when I was at Paw Patrol. So injured 12 to 17, 14-year-old shot, 17-year-old shot, adult female shot, adult female, adult male. So really all adults except the two. But that's where, yeah, 20 people were fucking AR-15. Yeah, there was only 20 people that was shot. One dead, multiple injured after block party shooting in Muncie, Indiana. On this video, let's play it. Always, am I sharing my screen? Wrong one, though.
News 8 at 6 starts now.
Tonight, a community is in shock after a mass shooting in Muncie leaves one man dead and more than a dozen people injured. Investigators are working to track down the person or people responsible for firing multiple shots into a crowd. News 8's Katira Winfrey is live in Muncie with the latest details. Katira.
Well, Brittany, the scene is clear right now, but you can still find bits of police tape. But also down here, someone has left a small memorial. Now, I spoke to one man who says he's the victim's uncle, the victim who died. They say that man is Joseph Barner and that he goes by Joe Smooth. Now, as you mentioned, a dozen other people are still in the hospital, and the community says this tragedy will definitely leave its mark. Now, police say the shooting happened around 1 o'clock this morning during a block party. A block party community members say was not at all connected to the community homecoming event that's been happening all week. However, considering it did happen in their community, they are sharing sympathy, adding this won't stop the work to make Muncie a peaceful and loving community. Now, at the time of the shooting, multiple agencies responded. Witnesses on the scene told my colleague Amisha Ramsey this morning there were about 100 people on the street when people walking around with guns started spraying fire.
Damn.
I spoke to one man who says he's the victim's uncle. He says he went to the scene afterwards and it was chaotic with people crying and angry.
Being that my nephew was the victim, and that really touched home. So when I get to thinking about how I feel about the violence in our community, it's a terrible thing because of the way our youth is now. The love that we really need in our community is just not there.
And again, this was not connected to the community homecoming that was happening. However, a gospel event that was scheduled at a park ended up being canceled. But for some of the people who showed up, they still held an impromptu prayer for the victims and also for the community. Reporting live in Muncie, Katira Winfrey.
Oh, I love the trolls. Oh, I love the trolls. Man, don't you got something better to go do?
Yeah, I know. I chuckled to myself too.
I did too, you know,
They
and that's
they go away
crazy.
eventually.
Right, right. Shouldn't you be down there fighting MPD, Fulio? Hey, get the fuck up off here. Don't you got something to go be doing? Ain't you an activist? Shouldn't be out there trying to defund the police, nigga? Weirdo. Yeah, and then he leaves a laughing emoji. I love it. Do I got you triggered? But on that note, that's crazy as hell. Muncie, Indiana, all the motherfucking people shot. Yeah. It's funny because the story I was just talking about that. Oh, no shit. I was just talking about it, dumbass. That's the crazy part. I was just talking about it. Why? I was just talking about how State Patrol didn't have their fucking body cams on. Yeah, I know it's on I-94. I just played the whole 11-minute video.
Literally just
Yeah,
did it at the
dumbass.
beginning of
That's
this.
uninformed.
To be the good guy in this good guy bad guy thing. That is exactly the story we were talking about at the beginning of this episode. So if you want to go check it back after this episode is over, you could be further informed on more information that maybe you
Right.
don't know about as to what is actually going down.
Because you Yeah. No, you're fine, but it's still, that's what I'm saying, because I talked about this. I talked about how State Patrol didn't have body cams on. I talked about it's okay. It's all right. I'm not here for views, Grunt. I'm not here. I don't care about the views, because at the end of the day, the message gets to the people who needs it.
That part. If somebody goes to search it
You,
online, this story will get to the top of them and reach it.
right.
We're not
But
here
that's
for views. We're here for the exposure so people can be exposed to some knowledge and understand what's going on in their world. Because ain't nobody else reporting the shit the way they need to see it.
oh, nobody else is reporting it. Nobody else is reporting it. And I'm sitting here literally trying to, yes, it will, Grunt. That's the whole thing of it is. With you, so you mean to tell me with everything that is going on in Minneapolis, right? With CPAC is going to be on the ballot, with the city council election, because all 13, you don't think that Vitaw and Jenkins and some of them need help? Yeah, I know it was shut down. Okay, so why are we trying to go out there and shut down I-94? I'm not wrong. What am I wrong about? Minneapolis did not use the use of force. It was State Patrol. I'm not wrong about this. I got way more information than what people think. I know this, that there was not their body cams weren't on. Yeah. So you don't think they're going to use this to try to win? You don't think Frey's going to use this to put his cronies in better positions to win? Did you not look at the financials that were just released over the weekend? How do Vitaw and Jenkins have all that money? Come on, and Kowski. Goodman ain't even running. Goodman isn't even running and got all that money. So come on, y'all got to think about it. Start putting the pieces to the puzzle. You don't think they're going to use this to put them in a better position to win? You don't think Frey's going to do that? Okay. This is going to be a money-making motherfucking next couple months. We got August, September, October. Put on the seatbelt. Put on the seatbelt, because I guarantee it, Vitaw, Jenkins, all of Frey's cronies that are rerunning are going to use this to win. Yeah. You think that matters? I already seen that. I know. Okay, yes, Grunt, I agree with you. I thought that was going to put Jenkins out of running in the convention when she didn't get the endorsement. But that's not. So, okay, I think Vitaw is going to be removed, though. I think Vitaw is going to lose. It might not be to Marcus, but there's still Marvina. There's still Angela. There's still other options. Yeah, there is. You don't think she's going to lose? So y'all have already just gave up the effort then, basically. That's what you're telling me. Or is it because, oh, yeah, I'm voting. It ain't going to be for Vitaw. It ain't going to be for, well, I only get to vote for one of them, so it ain't going to be for them. So I'm out here. I might be in Red Wing right now, but I definitely know what's going on in Minneapolis because other people don't. And that's why we don't get change. So with that being said, man, I'm going to get up off here. I love everybody. I hope that you are doing things to change the world for the better and not just doing things to be out here just to be doing this shit. So win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well.
Every day, fighting for my life. Every day, fighting for my life. Fighting for my life. Fighting for my bread. Grew from the seed you thought was rot. I think not. Fire bred desire to rise above denial, to rise from former ashes to face new trial or triumph. I am enough. Trial to triumph. I am enough. Every day I fight for my life. Every day.
I'm going to say this. You know what? I really, because he wanted to believe, if we were trying to get justice for Cordell Handy, it's not going to be from a civil trial, sir. It's not going to be from a civil trial. That is compensation. That's not accountability, sir. That is compensation. That is not accountability. There is a difference. I hope that Cordell Handy does get justice, but it will not be from a civil trial. Y'all have a great day.